Hey church, I want to read y'all something real quick, and it's just so true. It says, some believers look for a church like they look for a store on sale. The altar became a showcase, and the service became a TV program. They pray when they need, but forget when they receive. They sing about surrender, but don't let go of anything. They want God's hand, but not God's lordship. They traded prayer in secret for likes on social media. They preach about love, but can't stand their neighbor. The Bible became a decoration, not a manual for life. Sorry, I'm tearing up, y'all. They run to events, but not to the prayer closet. They want life to change, but not their path. They say trust God, but still rely only on themselves. They live for new words, but forget old obedience. They call comfort a blessing, but run from the challenge to grow. The place changes, the service changes, but the heart stays the same. God doesn't want an audience. He wants people who are willing. You know, my wife and I became so sheltered in this house. We rarely go anywhere anymore, and I see things online, how horrible people are and how lost everyone is, and the places that we do go, like Walmart and things, you see it, but I don't ever go into crowds, not anymore. My son came to me Friday and asked me if I would take him to this thing called GeekCon. Very weird. And I asked him why. He said he wanted to meet the guy that played the original Flash. What's his name? John Wesley Ship or something. And I says, oh, okay, I guess. Well, I rarely do anything. So I took him over there. We was walking around. So much evil. I didn't fit in. I had on my Jesus Freak shirt. I'm not ashamed. Of course, nobody else had anything, scriptural or anything. It's just a weird place. We get in there, and I looked over, and I saw one of my childhood heroes, Ernie Reyes Jr. He played in Red Sonja. He was a little kid, and he played in Surf Ninjas, and that was my favorite movie growing up. That and Ninja Turtles, and he played in that too as the little pizza boy. My son he's super shy, and with his thyroid problem, he doesn't talk to people because he says he feels like everybody's making fun of him because of his weight. And it truly breaks my heart. I'm like, son, you're such a good-looking kid. You can't. Anyways, he's like, yeah, I remember him. You showed me that movie, Surf Ninjas. And I said, well, come on, I'll introduce you to him. And he was just, real shit. No, I don't want. I said, come on, I'll introduce you. Don't be scared. And I walked over there to that actor, and I says, hey, I really liked Surf Ninjas as a kid, and I looked him up and things, and I don't know where he is. I don't know if he knows the Lord or not. I don't know, but I'm gonna tell y'all, I didn't see the little signs next to all these actors at first. All these signs that said that you had to pay to not pay to speak to them, pay to take pictures and all this stuff. And I asked him, I says, do you mind if I take a picture and show my mama? She won't believe it, I met you. And my mama knows who he is, because I'm telling you, the Surf Ninjas, I watched that so many times. And he was like, yeah, sure. And then the lady next to him was like, oh, we take PayPal and this and that. And I just sat there puzzled for a minute, and I looked over and I saw that sign, and I said, I said, never mind. that's okay. It was nice meeting you. And I turned to walk off, and he looked right at my shirt. It said Jesus Freak. And then he looked back at me and he said, hey, don't worry about it. Come on. And I was like, really? Sure. And I said, I'm sorry about that. I didn't see that sign. He said, oh, don't be sorry. And that lady snapped this photo here. He was super nice, you know. Then we walked over, and my son wanted to meet that other guy. Like I said, the Flash. And he's like, Dad, I wanted to meet him, but I don't know what to say. I don't know how to talk to people. And I said, well, come on, I'll show you how to talk to people. And walked over there, and I said, hey, how are you doing? My son wants to meet you. He really loves you in the Flash. And that's pretty much all he watches, that and Star Wars. He was so nice to my son, and I appreciated that. Walked over to another booth, and the guy that played in Remember the Titans, a really, really big guy. He played in quite a few other movies. Ethan Suplee, I can't say his name. And I thought that would be an opportunity, because I saw that guy lost all of his weight. And it wasn't from what the other celebrities are doing. This guy really started working out and running, and that's how he lost all his weight. Really got in shape. And I walked over there and I introduced my son to him, and I said, you know what, I'm really glad to see that you lost all that weight. And he was like, yeah, me too. He's a super nice guy. And I said, you know, my son also has that thyroid problem, the same thing that he had. And I said, what advice can you give him? Because he won't listen to the doctors or even his parents. And he just went on this little speech, and I think some of it, I appreciated that, y'all. But y'all, I'm telling y'all, of course I got a lot of dirty looks toward wearing that shirt. A lot of dirty looks. But to my surprise, there was multiple people dressed up in these goofy costumes, and they were, I really like your shirt. Thank you. So, y'all wouldn't believe how many people were there. It was shoulder to shoulder walking around in there. I wasn't into nothing that they had there. Star Wars stuff, this and that. I'm not into that stuff. I've never seen Star Wars. That's true. What are we doing, church? I guarantee it. Every person that was there yesterday, which was over, I couldn't count, 1,000 or more. I guarantee it. Every one of them in there has heard John 3:16. That's what everybody in the church throws at everybody. John 3:16. John 3:16. Not one person mentions Romans 10:9 through 13. You can't even find a t-shirt with that on it. John 3:16 is everywhere. Everybody's heard it. No one knows how. Romans 10:9 through 13 is how. Because John 3:16, for God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. It doesn't tell you that it's a heart thing. It just says to believe. Well, anybody can fake believe and think that they're, you know. Romans 10:9 through 13 describes how. So come on, y'all. Time is very, very, very short. Romans 10:9 through 13. I love all of you. I surely do. God bless.